Last season, this NFL team was flat out unwatchable. Their offense was a mess, their defense was inconsistent, mostly due to their offense being a mess, and they finished with one of the worst point differentials in the entire NFC, only better than the Giants and the Panthers. But despite being 118 points in the negative, they still won 7 games. Now imagine what happens when their franchise quarterback is healthy and they've quietly built one of the most dangerous rosters in the NFL. This could be the comeback story of the year, and the team that I'm talking about is the Dallas Cowboys. Let's be real, the Cowboys are one of the most iconic franchises in NFL history, but lately, they've only been elite at one thing: disappointing their fans when it matters the most. But this year, it feels a little bit different. This is the return of the Dak, and if you've forgotten what a healthy Dak Prescott looks like, let me remind you. Just 2 seasons ago, he threw for 4,500 yards, 36 touchdowns, and only 9 interceptions, finishing second in MVP voting in the entire league. That version of Dak, he might be back, and when you stack him up against the league's elite, like Mahomes, Burrow, Lamar, Allen, Hurts, you can argue that Dak is knocking right on that door, top 8 easily. And that's exactly what you need to contend in today's NFL. Now pair a motivated quarterback with a brand new head coach in Brian Schottenheimer, a guy who's waited his whole career for this opportunity. First-year head coaches bring fire, and Schottenheimer has a roster that's waiting to explode. Let's talk about the biggest firework of the offseason, the George Pickens trade. Now I get it, Pickens can be a bit of a wild card, but that's exactly the kind of edge this offense needs. And when you line him up opposite of CeeDee Lamb, that's potentially the best wide receiver duo in the NFL. CeeDee is already a top 3 receiver in the entire league, and Pickens has nearly 3,000 yards in his first 3 seasons, and some of the strongest hands in football. Pair them together, and you're staring at potentially 3,000 yards and 15 touchdowns from just 2 guys combined. That's the successful recipe that the Philadelphia Eagles, the Miami Dolphins, and the Cincinnati Bengals are using to torch teams offensively. And here's the thing, Dak might throw for 5,000 yards. If you do the math with those guys combining for 3,000 yards, and Jake Ferguson chipping in around 1,000 yards, with an emerging Jalen Tolbert and even Javonte Williams catching passes out of the backfield, this could be one of the most explosive units in the NFC. Now let's move to the engine room, the offensive line. According to PFF, the Cowboys finished top 10 in pass blocking efficiency, and they got a little bit better. Tyler Smith is a Pro Bowl level guard. Rookie Tyler Booker was a monster at Alabama, and with Cooper Beebe maturing at center, this interior line could be elite. Yes, the tackles are a question mark, but if Guyton and Steele can hold their own, this could be one of the best pass blocking units in the entire league. And don't overlook the run game revival. Jaden Blue has track star speed. He's raw, sure, inconsistent at best, but he's dangerous in space. And Javonte Williams, if he returns to pre-injury form, we're talking about potentially a 1,000-yard back who brings serious physicality. Perfect for the play-action scheme that Schottenheimer is going to want to run, and perfect for Dak Prescott. And then there's the Cowboys' secret weapon, tight end Jake Ferguson. He's already been a Pro Bowler, and with Dak back under center, 1,000 yards and 6 touchdowns is absolutely in play. If you play fantasy, keep him on your radar, because he could just be another breakout candidate at the tight end position. Here's what separates the Cowboys from the average flashy offense team. It's their defense. They ranked top 5 in points allowed last season, despite having one of the league's worst time of possession stats. That means they were constantly on the field, and they still clamped up. With a healthy Micah Parsons, this defense is scary. He's a top 3 defender in football, a certified game wrecker. Line him up with potential breakout candidates as in Osa Odighizuwa, Dante Fowler, and rookie Jay Toya, and you've got one of the nastiest front sevens in the NFC. They also added Kenneth Murray, a former first rounder who never quite hit in his NFL time, but he has freak athleticism and fresh motivation. Line him up next to a recovering DeMarvion Overshown, a guy who's shown real flashes before his injury, and this linebacker core could quietly become a huge strength. Now let's talk about the secondary, because it's absolutely loaded with playmakers. Trevon Diggs, Deron Bland, Kaiir Elam, Malik Hooker, and Donovan Wilson. That's Ballhawk City. Deron Bland led the league in interceptions and in pick sixes just 2 seasons ago. Trevon Diggs is a turnover machine, and Kaiir Elam, he's a first-round athlete with something to prove. This group doesn't have to shut teams down, they just need to create chaos, and that's exactly what they're built for. And after all this roster breakdown, we still haven't even mentioned the Dallas Cowboys' best player on their roster, kicker Brandon Aubrey. This dude is automatic. In his first season, he went 36 of 38 in his field goal attempts, including multiple bombs from 60 plus. In his second season, he wasn't as consistent, but he's still the guy that I want kicking in big games. When you cross midfield, he's already in range, and that's a huge edge in close games. Here's the bad news for Cowboys fans. Unfortunately, they have the 5th toughest schedule in the NFL. But the good news is, the Giants and the Eagles have it even worse. If the Cowboys can sweep the Giants, split with Washington and Philly, and hold their own against middle-tier teams, 9 to 10 wins is very realistic. And all you're trying to do is get in the playoffs, because once you're in, with a healthy Dak and elite wide receiver duo, a nasty front seven, and a Pro Bowl kicker, anything can happen. So I need your take. Are the Dallas Cowboys the most slept-on team in the NFL, or am I just insane? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button if you love NFL deep dives, and don't forget to subscribe if you want more content like this every single week. Check out our breakdown of the Denver Broncos as this year's AFC dark horse and why the Patriots might have just built the scariest defense in the league. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.